tomorrow's a new day, and you can still do what you need to do. Anyway, tonight I'm talking about I wanted to talk about something that I have been doing for most of my life, and that is prayer. Um, Disclaimer: I am a believer. I'm a Christian, so I am approaching this from a Christian worldview. But I wanted to ask many of you new dads. By the way, is I believe day 33, and so I'm excited. That means there are 67 days until the end of the year. So keep on keeping on, and it's going to be an exciting next few 67 days. That being said, tonight I want to ask and share the easiest and best thing that you can do as a new dad. I asked my uncle this. My uncle is one of 12 kids, and I sent him a picture of this picture that I used to see in my grandparents' house growing up. And I asked him the question. I told him a little bit about what I'm doing with Mr. New Dad, and I asked him what is the best thing that you can do as a new dad. And I loved his answer. I'm going to read it. He said, "Prayer is a game changer. Often I think it's the least that I can do as a parent. But God reminds me it's the best thing that I can do." And I really love that answer because I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer. And I've often have asked many other dads and different events that I've gone to. I know that it's a struggle for some men to either pray with their spouse or for their spouse, or pray with or for their children. One habit that I started even before Evan was born. I got it from a friend of mine who shared with me, but he said he would pray over his son or daughter while they were developing, while they were growing still inside their wife's body and being made. And so it's something that I really appreciated for that, and it really encouraged me to start to begin to think about, what kind of man do I want my son to become, and what kind of dad do I want to become, and what are the habits that I want to share with my son, and especially when it comes to an important topic such as faith, such as Christianity, and the things that we believe. And so when it comes to prayer, I really like my uncle's response. When it comes to prayer, it's the easiest and most the best thing that you can do as a new dad is, again, I've said this many times in the last few nights, don't go this alone. Don't go at this alone. But especially don't go at this alone without having a strong prayer life. And I know that's uncomfortable. I know this is an uncomfortable topic, but I can tell you right now, it's a small habit. And some men have asked, well, where do you start, or how do I do that? The way that I believe, it's just having a conversation with God. And if you need a little bit of help, open up the Word or open up the Bible and begin to look for things that interest you, but then also some different scriptures or different sermons that you could begin to look up. Use Google for everything. But there's a couple that I specifically have specifically for children. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, 2 Timothy 3, 16, and 17. And this is, most dads are probably going to recognize this one, is Proverbs 24, 6, which most people have probably heard. Train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And I really like that. And I know it's a very popular scripture. It's a very popular proverb. But think about that. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So if you want, Johnny, when he is 80 years old, or as he is going through life, what does he rely on? What is the foundation that he has brought, that he has taken from you as his father or parents? What has he taught from, what has he learned from you? And how are you as new dad doing that? And so I'd really like to hear from you. And Many of my friends or many of my followers have asked about this, and I'm certainly always open to discussion and hear different comments about this. But what are some of the ways that you have prayed with your kids, or what are some of the different habits that you have started very young in your fatherhood that you have continued on? Why this is so important is because, again, I've asked this question many, many times to many different dads, and they all agree that doing this is something that's very important. It's a great habit to get into, especially as a family. But I don't know. I'd really like to hear from you and hear some different comments and questions. And what do you do, and how do you introduce prayer life into your young son or daughter? But more importantly, as a new dad, I believe it's so important that you do this for yourself to, again, to begin into this habit now while they're young. They're going to pick up on that. A good friend of mine, his daughter's 2, and she knows what the Bible is. And every morning they sit down and he prays over her. He reads some scripture over her, and she knows that book is holy. So she is already beginning to learn that there is something very special, very powerful, but something about that book. And I think as she progresses, if she already has that habit, eventually she's going to learn why that was so important. So anyway, I just wanted to share that lesson with you, and that encouragement seed from my family, from one of my uncles, who I really appreciate his openness and to share how prayer has been such an integral part in his life. But as a new dad, it's like he said, it's the least that he can do, but then more importantly, it's the best thing that you can do. So I hope that's an encouragement to many of you on the call, on the video. And if you're watching this either live, just go ahead and hit hashtag live, or that you're here, so I know. Catching the restream or the replay, just let me know that you're catching the replay and hit hashtag replay. So I appreciate you all. And until tomorrow, have a great night. And even if you had a bad day today, like, I wouldn't call today a bad day. It was definitely an unexpected day. These things happen. You just roll with it. I have dead battery. I spent hours at the dealership trying to get this fixed. I came home, I got vomited on, and it was clearly not my day. But I did want to get on here and not miss tonight's chat, because it's an important topic. So again, until tomorrow, be awesome. Do well, be well, take care.